I've got a list here, and I'll preface by kind of telling my story as far as why I'm
By the way,
inquiring.
that video you sent, oh my God, juggling five balls. So beach handball seems all like water polo on land. Is that?
Yeah, that's a great way to describe it. That's actually a common way that Americans describe the sport of handball to
Oh,
other
okay. Because
people, like water polo on land. Like it's literally how we describe it to Americans.
it's amazing. And boy, those shoots in the shots into the net from like right at the edge. Dang, you bent it like Beckham. Oh my
I'll take
goodness.
that compliment any day. Love
No,
that.
no, that was it was a great reel, a fabulous reel, my dear.
I appreciate that. It's very kind of you to say. It was a dream come true for me to be able to be at Paris. I didn't get to play in Rio, didn't get to play in Tokyo,
Well, I
and
heard well in the video it said that it's not yet an official sport. It's more a demonstration. Like
yeah. So
let's get it.
the beach discipline in particular is like trying to get onto the program. The indoor version of handball has been in the Olympics since 1972. So it's kind of
Okay.
like the difference between beach volleyball and indoor volleyball, if
Sure,
that
sure.
makes sense. Yeah. But the beach version is trying to climb its way up. And it was a demonstration in Paris. And I got
Boy, I
nothing.
bet people loved it.
Yeah, it was a blast. And France is a huge handball country. It was a good place to have it. And my first
And
coach happened.
Paris. I have not been to Paris since probably before you were, well, since you were very tiny, but I love the city. It's a great place.
Yeah. No, it was absolutely lovely experience all the way around. So I'll preface this first thing, and you know I'm a handball player, and you know that I played in Paris. Um, in my journey to being a world class athlete, the thing I did most prominently on a per minute basis is what we're doing right now, and that's watching a screen. Watch film of my own practices, my own games, film of upcoming opponents, and then film of just other elite teams within the league or within the world, just to get an idea of trends in the game, how things are evolving. Uh, you also being a performer, how important or not was film study to you? Did you watch back your own scenes? Did you watch the scenes of your upcoming partners to get a feel for their tendencies? Did you just generally watch, what top performers were doing?
I have a mile. I liked pornography before I got into it, but I did hadn't watched a lot. I watched my own work a lot the first year or two, so I could learn how to work with the camera. And after that, I didn't, because how a person performed previously has no bearing on today because it is a day by day thing. Mood, time of day, how many scenes that he had that week, what's the set, what's the setup? Is it me and him alone? Is it a group situation? How's his knee? How's his back? How's his hip joint? So what he did last time doesn't matter in terms of performance. What matters is our connection that day and how available is he to the exchange of energy. For some guys, they're like robots. I'm just there to provide external stimulation to the appropriate places, and he's going to do the function, and we're going to function, and we're going to finish the scene. Other guys are we're very able to have a momentary but real connection, at least personal. A couple of guys were real romantics, and they needed emotion from me. Like they needed me. One guy, I did a great two-way. I did a great two-way with him. I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. We had such a good connection. Like, ooh yeah. So I wanted him for a boy-boy girl three-way. And it was a disaster because the other guy needed all my attention to stay hard in front of the second guy. So what he did last time doesn't really matter. Because it's weird. It's a performance, but it's also rooted in today's metabolic and biologic reality. Amount of sleep, first scene of sex scene, before lunch, after lunch. Is a set cold, hot, hard, soft? Backseat of a small car, a boulder, wait, a desk, no, the floor, a cap. So watching other people's scenes did not help, and watching my scenes for the first couple of years did help. And then I haven't watched my scenes since, as a general rule. I do have difficulty watching myself. 'Cause I'm always thinking, I could have done that better. Oh my gosh, you didn't point your toe. Oh my God, why? Open your eyes, right? That kind of thing. So I haven't critiqued my own scenes in a while. Plus, we only have one shot, so it's not like take two, take four, take six. Once the sex starts, it is like a sporting event, right? It's a live action sporting event, and there are no do overs. And during the scene with a boy, everything that I do person. I don't know about the other female performers. Everything I do is to support his ability to stay hard with as little effort as possible. The easier I make it for him to do his job, the quicker we get to lunch, and the better everyone's going to have a day. My orgasm is not the point. I don't have orgasms on set. That's not why I'm there. I'm there to perform an idea that I have. I'm there to perform, but I'm there to perform, and I like what I'm doing. This is why I never do anything on camera. I don't already like doing at home when there's no cameras, but I'm there as it's my job. I'm a professional sexual performer.
Okay. Well, that was wow. Maybe I was surprised on a couple of things. I don't know exactly what answer to expect. Didn't really have expectations, but uh, yeah, that was
It is
revelatory.
not what it seems.
Yeah, that's not what it is. Well, I mean, that's why I'm asking to
I
get.
wish we could be in a big old porno commune with a bunch of sex positive
Yeah,
sex geeks who love just promoting goodness and kindness and intimacy and
yeah,
that when yeah I'd have to have a couple $1 million and create a porno camp and screen everybody, and so that's just not a thing that I have the finances. I mean, would I love to do it, but that's like
yeah.
nah, not a thing. You're clearly a caring, kind individual who likes human contact and wants you are a heart person.
Wow. That's quite the response. I appreciate the comprehensiveness of it. I'd say on a similar note to, if you had if you did any film study, I refereed a number of sports before I ultimately made my debut with Team USA in 2014. One of them was association football, aka soccer.
Mm-hmm.
And when refereeing soccer, there's this concept of C, like kind of three principles by which you want
Mm-hmm.
to keep in mind: safety, equality, enjoyment. Yeah, and
Mm.
when you're making decisions, it's based on that concept. And every year, most ball sports, the rules get updated. And they're not necessarily
Sure.
major rules every year, but the rules updates based on what trends are being noticed, what players are doing. If someone like James Harden gets so good at drawing fouls and the league's like, we don't like that look. He's not doing anything wrong, but that's just commercially not what we want. We're going to change some rules
Okay.
around that. For you being in your field as long as you have, I don't know if you know exactly how many years.
41, 42 in March.
In 42 years, over 42 years, I would imagine there have been some combination of dynamics changes. If you can think throughout the decades,
Well,
we've
the biggest
had to
dynamic
pivot.
change is the empowerment of the performers, meaning, of course, we have internet now, so we no longer dependent on a producer wanting to have sex with us to hire us. I never had to have sex to get a job, but if a director producer didn't think you were fuckable, he had no reason to hire you. So it was a more it was a more feral environment. And so now, because a performer, individual performer, has other ways to either connect directly with her fans or their fans and make money besides the mainstream, the power balance has shifted a bit. And biggest thing out of the testing system has come a lovely ecosystem of peer support. There's Pineapple Express, which is expressly for sex worker mental health. There is the Adult Performer Advocacy Committee, APAC, here in adult entertainment land. And there's just more, the under 30-year-old performers just have a better understanding of mental health, peer-to-peer support. So the biggest change is a social change, right? So when I was young, you know, no one grew up thinking they wanted to make porn. Although the first time I saw porn, it's like I want to do that. Yeah. And then by the 90s, Jenna Jameson, when she was someone who came in the 90s and she found porn, and so she was someone who grew up wanting to do porn. So now porn is everywhere, right? We have, obviously OnlyFans is exploded that, but now the awareness on the part of the performer of their rights and their rights and privileges is much greater, and they will put up with less bullshit because they can walk, they can make money elsewhere. That's the biggest change. The internet was a double-edged sword because now adult entertainment, adult images go places without any guardrails, and that is concerning to me. Back in the day when I was younger, people didn't access porn until they were hormonally propelled to go look for it, become interested in it. So most of the time, by the time a young person saw an adult image, they were at least past puberty and like curious about this stuff, as
Yeah.
opposed to what other ages they might be finding it now and being completely confused. That is not a case for censorship, but we have such a piss poor sex education culture in our country. It is highly likely that the first images a person sees will be completely confusing, taken completely out of context, have no meaning for them and no basis in grounded reality. And that bothers me. And I hear that a lot because the proliferation of very extreme behavior on movies, on porno sets as part of a scene with, again, no context or negotiation that the viewer can see is concerning to me because a lot of people get their sex education from adult material, which is not, unless it's my sex education movies or something similar, is not the point of pornography, right? So that is concerning.
Yeah, there's always, and it's something that I learned as I went through my international athletic career. Obviously, it's a different context, but what you do to perform at a professional level, a senior level, and what you can transmit in education to the general populace, you get to a point where there becomes a discrepancy. You know, like how I have to go about my craft as an international player. I'm working on things that maybe a sixth grader couldn't possibly work on, especially if they don't have the context.
Exactly, exactly. You know, just switch it over to sex and
Yeah.
times 1,000 and you have it.
Yeah. I guess on the longevity standpoint, yeah, I recently retired from my career. And I was the same age that Michael Jordan was when he had his first retirement. He played baseball for a couple of years and then he went back and won a couple more championships. And should I, at some point in the future, have the opportunity to go back, was there anything you learned over 42 years? I mean, that's double LeBron's career. Uh, as far as how you had to adapt from a longevity standpoint to stay in the game, as far as maybe how you approach scenes, how you took care of your body, off of scenes.
The biggest thing about with, of course, adult entertainment is I didn't get some fans until I turned 40 because fetishization. So for some guys, age is the issue. So until I hit 40, they weren't really interested in me because they were into older. I talk to young fans now, and they love. I said, if you ever want to see me when I was the age you are now, check out this movie. I like you now better. So one thing about sex is always going to sell. So while some people may think of me as an old hag, other people are thinking I'm in my prime and aging like fine wine. I'm here because I need to be here because sex is my thing, and sex performance and sex education and sexual healing is my wheel. That's why I'm here. Yes, I'm freaky. Yes, I'm kinky. Yes, I like all the things. But as an artist, I'm here because this is my field. If the wire had been put into a different thing, I would have been 42 years into ceramics or glass blowing or midwifery or primatology or I'm interested in a lot of things. This is the one that really gripped me. The only thing I wanted to practice enough to get good at, right? I didn't have any mentors when I was little. I could have, I would have been really good at calligraphy. I wish, if I had some better violin teacher, I
Yeah,
wanted to be good at a thing. I didn't want to get good at a thing. And it takes, count your 10,000 hours. And so the only thing I wanted to put 10,000 hours into was sex. It wasn't because I wanted to have intercourse for 10,000 hours, but sex as a takes place on so many levels. The cultural component, emotional component, spiritual component, mental component, physical component, class component, racial component. It's so complex, like this glowing thing, and it's just constantly changing and shifting because sexuality, sex energy, is both a universal component of being human and 100% individually experienced.
yeah,
So there's the collective fact of sexual energy exists in the world, and then but your sexual experience is completely unique. You get a bunch of other 32-year-old professional athletes who are melanated, and they're still going to have as many of them that there are going to be that many different experiences of being a sexual being. So it's constantly evolving and changing and never dull. So
yeah,
for me,
yeah,
the longevity is not they they can't kick you out. If someone will hire you, you have a job. And so after the first 10 years, they didn't know what to do with me because there was no MILF category yet. And so the 90s were a little bit rocky because it's like, then I hit 40 and then I was, then I'm cougar. Now it's a whole new category. So I'm here. I'm my longevity is because the subject still interests me, and I have had the good fortune to build up a good brand name, and people like what I do, right? But more important, the reason I'm here long enough because I am expressing a true aspect of myself.
Mm.
I'm not doing sex work to get money. I'm not doing porn because sex is easy, sex pays a lot. I'm here because the topic interests me. It is the most deeply interesting thing to me as a nurse, as a it hits all my levels.
Yeah.
I'm the most interested in it, and the most satisfying. So I'm here because sex is my thing, and I have beauty privilege. So I'm able to keep doing what I'm doing, um, because I still maintain my looks to enough degree that people are not horrified when they see me performing. Um, and that is a positive thing. So I'll be able to work in some capacity until, if I want to, until I'm 80. There's no end to it because there is I'll always have something to share and offer people because of the beast of sexuality, because it is universal. And I'm a nurse, so I'm here to address sexual suffering. That's why I do what I do. Is sexual suffering is real suffering, and I'm here to address the suffering that not just I see but also pertains to me because I recognize that well, I didn't suffer sexually. I have a unique capacity to work with people in this manner, and somatic experience, somatic learning, and somatic healing is very important to me. If I wasn't, again, I wasn't a nurse. If I wasn't a porn performer, I would maybe have been a somatic healer therapy for 40 years, or a dance therapist for 40 years, or it would be something to do with the body and energy and all the things.
So I'll slip in one last
Okay.
question. As you know, it was my dream to make it to the Olympics, and I got to do that. And you evidently are living your most fantastic life. And as a content creator for Handball Ninja, I try to develop myself into an athlete that did things where people would look at it and say, "Was that real? Like,
Right,
can you really
right.
do that?" I think the best compliment I ever received was it was somebody that I met in person was like, "Hey, Handball Ninja, I didn't know that you were real. I thought you were AI." I was like, one of the greatest compliments I ever received from a Japanese player of all.
Really incredible.
You
Congratulations.
being somebody who also physically performed to create something that millions of people around the world consider fantasy, what advice would you give to most people to live their most fantastic life?
It's going to sound so trite. Discover what brings you joy and do that. Joy is self-generated. Joy does not come from the outside. Joy comes from expressing your real self. Now, how you find your real self, that is a whole other level of conversations. I got my purpose very early. By the time I was 12, I just knew, time I was 12, I knew something with the body.
Okay.
And when I saw my first adult movie, it's like, oh yeah, that. So when I was 17, I just recognized I knew what I wanted to do. Nursing school was a great platform for that. Of all the things I could have done in college, nursing was the best preparation, more than communications or feminist studies or women's studies. Nursing, because I work with bodies, and bodies have a universal truth about them, regardless of before gender, before class, before race, before age. There is an organism that responds to some things, that responds to stimuli in different ways. No ego, no good or bad. It's just you like this, I like that. Your skin likes this, I like that. It's just how it is. So helping people get to the center of themselves, whatever that means, is my goal. Is my joy in life.
I absolutely love that. I will end on that because I think that's an incredible final note. The importance of Dharma,
Thank you
right?
so much, and have a great, great new year.
Happy New Year, Nina. Thanks for every time.
You get. Bye.